She texted, "I crashed your car. Don't be mad." These things happen while she was borrowing it for errands. I replied, "Accidents happen." Then I checked the GPS history. She'd driven 340 miles to her ex's lake house. When the insurance investigator asked for my statement, original post, I, 29 male, just got off the phone with an insurance investigator, and I'm sitting here realizing my 2-year relationship ended not with a conversation, but with a GPS log and a very thorough claims adjuster. Let me walk you through how we got here. Some context. I've been dating my girlfriend for just over 2 years. We don't live together. She has her own place about 20 minutes from mine, but we spend most weekends together, and she keeps stuff at my apartment. The relationship has been fine. Not amazing, not terrible. We had our issues, mostly around her being flaky about plans and occasionally mentioning her ex in ways that made me uncomfortable, but nothing that ever felt like a deal breaker. I drive a 2021 Honda Accord. Not fancy, but it's mine. Paid off early, well-maintained, good condition. I'm pretty protective of it because it's the first car I ever bought new. My girlfriend has an older Nissan Altima that's been giving her problems lately. So over the past few months, she's been borrowing my car more and more. At first, it was for job interviews. Her car didn't feel professional. Then for longer drives to see her family. Her car isn't reliable for highway driving. Then just whenever she didn't feel like dealing with her own vehicle. I should have set boundaries earlier. I know that now. Last Saturday, she asked if she could take my car to run some errands. Said her Altima was making a weird noise and she didn't trust it. I was working from home anyway. Didn't need the car, so I said sure. She estimated she'd be back by early afternoon. By 6 p.m., no car, no girlfriend, no update. I texted her asking where she was. She said, "Running behind, be back soon." Okay, weird, but whatever. By 9 p.m., still nothing. I called. No answer. Texted again. Left on read. At 11:47 p.m., I got a text that made my stomach drop. Her, "I crashed your car. Don't be mad. These things happen, red heart. I'm okay, BTW. Car, is it a tow yard? I'll explain tomorrow. Love you." I stared at that text for a solid 5 minutes. Don't be mad. These things happen. A heart emoji, like she'd spilled coffee on my shirt instead of totaling my car. I texted back, "Accidents happen. Glad you're okay. We'll figure it out tomorrow." I didn't mean a word of it. I was furious. But I've learned that reacting in anger never leads anywhere good. So I kept it calm. Figured I'd get the full story the next day and assess from there. Sunday morning, she came over looking rough, tired, a little bruised from the airbag deployment, clearly nervous. I made coffee, sat her down, asked what happened. Her, "I was running errands and a deer ran out in front of me. I swerved to avoid it and hit a guardrail. The front end is pretty messed up, but the tow guy said it might be fixable. I'm so sorry, babe." Me, "Where did this happen?" Her, "On the highway. I was coming back from the outlet mall." Me, "Which highway?" Her, "The main one. You know, near the outlets." Something fell off. The outlet mall is maybe 45 minutes from my place. She'd been gone for over 12 hours. But I didn't push. Not yet. Me, "Okay. Well, we'll file an insurance claim and see what they say. You're on my policy as an occasional driver, so it should be covered." Her, "See? It'll all work out. I knew you'd understand." She seemed relieved. Too relieved. After she left, I did something I'd never done before. I checked my car's GPS history. I have one of those OBD2 tracking devices that I installed for insurance discount purposes. It logs location, speed, mileage, the whole deal. I'd honestly forgotten it was there most of the time. But that morning, I opened the app and looked at Saturday's data. My car hadn't gone anywhere near the outlet mall. According to the GPS, my car drove 168 miles in one direction, stopped for approximately 6 hours, then drove another 172 miles before the trip data ended abruptly, presumably when she crashed. 340 miles total. Nowhere near any outlet mall. I zoomed in on the destination coordinates. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out what was there. Her ex-boyfriend's family lake house. I know about this place because she'd mentioned it multiple times early in our relationship. Her ex's family has owned it for decades. She used to go there with him all the time. She'd show me photos, talked about how much she loved it there, described the dock, the fire pit, the specific view of the water. She'd driven my car 170 miles to spend 6 hours at her ex's lake house, then crashed my car on the way back and told me she was running errands. I sat with that information for a long time. The betrayal wasn't just the lie or even the probable cheating. It was the casual confidence with which she'd fed me that story. The "don't be mad" text, the heart emoji, the relief when I didn't push back. She genuinely believed I'd never find out. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I want to see how this played out. Monday, I filed the insurance claim. Reported the accident exactly as she described it. Deer, guardrail, near the outlets. The claims adjuster said they'd send an investigator to assess the damage and verify the details. Tuesday, the investigator called. Standard questions at first. When did the accident occur? Where? What were the circumstances? I answered vaguely, said my girlfriend was driving and could provide more details. He said he'd follow up with her directly. Then he asked the question that changed everything. Investigator, does your vehicle have any tracking or telematics devices installed? Me. Yes, actually. An OBD2 tracker for the insurance discount program. Investigator, would you be willing to share the GPS data from the day of the accident? Me, absolutely. And that's when I realized I had a choice to make. I could protect her lie, back up her story, and probably get the claim approved without issue. Or I could tell the truth and let whatever happens happen. I thought about the text. Don't be mad. These things happen, red heart. Me, I should mention, when I reviewed the GPS data, the location history didn't match what she told me about where she was going. There was a pause on the line. Investigator, can you elaborate on that? Me, she said she was going to the outlet mall. The GPS shows the car traveled over 300 miles round trip to a completely different location. Investigator, I see. Would you be able to provide us with that data? Me, I'll email it to you today. He thanked me and hung up. I sent the GPS logs within the hour. I know what some of you are thinking. Isn't this insurance fraud? Potentially, yes. If she lied about where the accident happened to hide something, like, say, a trip to visit her ex, that could constitute a material misrepresentation on the claim. I'm not a lawyer, but I know enough to know that lying to insurance companies is a very bad idea. She called me Tuesday night, panicked. The insurance investigator called me and asked all these weird questions about where I was driving. What did you tell him? Me, the truth. What truth? Me, that the GPS shows you drove 340 miles to your ex's lake house and crashed my car on the way back. The silence was so long, I thought she'd hung up. You had GPS tracking on your car? Me, yeah. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? I was going to tell you, Me, when? After the insurance paid out for a deer that doesn't exist hitting my car near an outlet mall you never went to. It's not what it looks like. I just needed to get some closure. We talked, that's all. Nothing happened. Me, you lied to me about where you were. You lied about the accident. You lied to the insurance company. Whether nothing happened is kind of beside the point now. She started crying, saying she was sorry, that she panicked, that she didn't know how to tell me. I let her talk herself out. Then I said what I've been thinking since Sunday morning. Me, we're done. And you need to figure out how you're going to handle the insurance situation, because I'm not lying for you. I hung up, blocked her number. Haven't spoken to her since. I'll update when the insurance stuff gets resolved. I'm honestly not sure what happens next, but I'm guessing it won't be good for her. Update 1, 6 days later. Things have developed significantly, and I want to walk you through what's happened, because this situation has gotten way more complicated than a simple breakup. First, the insurance situation. After I sent the GPS data, the investigator called me back for a more detailed statement. This time it was recorded. He asked me to walk through the timeline, what she told me she was doing, what time she left when I got the text about the crash, and what the GPS showed. I told him everything honestly. He thanked me and said they'd be in touch. Thursday of last week, I got a letter from my insurance company. The claim was being denied due to material misrepresentation of facts by the authorized driver. In plain English, she lied about where the accident happened, and insurance doesn't cover lies. The letter also stated that as the policy holder, I could appeal the decision if I believed there were extenuating circumstances. I did not appeal. Here's where it gets interesting. The denial means my car, which is sitting in a tow yard somewhere collecting storage fees, is now my problem. The repair estimate I got was around $11,400. The car's value before the accident was maybe $19,000. Not totaled technically, but close. I have to decide whether to pay out of pocket for repairs, sell it for parts, or eat the loss entirely. But here's the thing. I shouldn't have to pay for this. She damaged my property while lying to me and committing what might be insurance fraud. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I consulted a lawyer. The lawyer, a guy my buddy recommended who handles property damage cases, laid out my options. I could sue her in small claims court for the repair costs, up to $10,000 in my state, so I'd be slightly under the full amount but could recover most of it. Sue her in civil court for the full amount plus additional damages. Report the incident as potential insurance fraud to the state insurance commissioner and let them handle it. He recommended starting with option 1. Small claims is faster, cheaper, and doesn't require a lawyer. If she didn't pay, I could escalate from there. So that's what I did. Filed in small claims court on Friday for $9,500, the repair costs minus my deductible, plus tow yard fees that had accumulated. She was served on Monday. Her response was something. She showed up at my apartment Monday evening, service papers in hand, mascara running down her face. Her, you're suing me? Are you serious right now? Me, you crashed my car and lied about it. The insurance won't pay. Someone has to. Her, this is insane. We were together for 2 years, and you're taking me to court? Me, we were together for 2 years, and you drove to your ex's house and crashed my car on the way back. Then you lied to my face about it. I think court is pretty reasonable, actually. Her, nothing happened with him. I told you I just needed closure. Me, cool. You could tell the judge about your closure needs. Maybe they'll find it relevant to the $11,000 in damage you caused. Her, I can't afford that. I don't have that kind of money. Me, should have thought about that before you took a 340-mile joyride in my car to visit your ex. She tried a different approach. Started apologizing profusely, saying she'd pay me back over time, that we could work something out without involving the courts. I told her to put any settlement offer in writing and I'd consider it. She left crying. 2 days later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was her mom. Her mom, I understand you're upset, but taking my daughter to court is excessive. She made a mistake. Young people make mistakes. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive her? Me, ma'am, your daughter borrowed my car, drove it to her ex-boyfriend's house, crashed it, lied about where she was, and then lied to my insurance company. That's not a mistake. That's a series of choices. Her mom, she said nothing happened with her ex. She was just confused about her feelings. Me, I'm not confused about mine. I want my car fixed or paid for. If she can't do that, the court will decide. Her mom, you're being vindictive. This isn't about the car. This is about punishing her for breaking your heart. Me, my heart will heal for free. My car costs $11,000. I know which one I'm prioritizing. She called me cold and heartless and said I'd regret this. I blocked the number. Thursday, I got a call from the insurance investigator again. He said they'd completed their investigation and had referred the matter to their special investigations unit for potential fraud. He couldn't tell me details, but he said I might be contacted by their legal team or law enforcement if they decided to pursue charges. Insurance fraud is a felony in my state. I'm not saying I want her to go to prison, but she literally filed a false claim. She told them the accident happened in a completely different location than it did. That's textbook fraud. The tow yard situation also escalated. Storage fees are $45 per day. The car has been there for almost 2 weeks. That's another $600 plus on top of everything else. I told the yard I'd be picking it up by the end of the week, paid the fees, and had it towed to a repair shop for a second estimate. Second estimate, $10,800. Slightly less than the first, but still brutal. I'm keeping the car, going to pay for repairs myself, and recover what I can through court. It's a financial hit, but I'd rather have my car back than sell it for scraps because of her choices. More updates coming after the court date. Update 2, 12 days later. Okay, so the court date happened, and I need to tell you all about it, because it was genuinely one of the most surreal experiences of my life. Small claims court is nothing like TV court. It's a small room, a judge at a desk, and both parties basically telling their side of the story while the judge asks questions. No lawyers, no jury, just you and your documentation. I showed up with the GPS data printouts showing the route to the lake house, the repair estimates from 2 different shops, screenshots of her text about the crash. Don't be mad. These things happen red hard. The insurance denial letter citing material misrepresentation, receipts for the tow yard fees, a timeline I'd written out. She showed up with her mom for moral support and what looked like absolutely no documentation at all. The judge called our case. I stated my claim. She borrowed my car, crashed it. The insurance denied the claim because she lied about where the accident occurred, and I was seeking $9,500 to cover repair costs and fees. The judge turned to her. What's your response? Her, he's exaggerating. The accident was a genuine accident. A deer ran out. Judge, ma'am, I've reviewed the plaintiff's documentation. The GPS data shows the vehicle was approximately 170 miles from the location you reported to the insurance company. Can you explain that discrepancy? Her, the GPS must be wrong. Me, Your Honor, I can show you how the device works and demonstrate that it's calibrated correctly. Judge, that won't be necessary. Ma'am, is there any explanation for why the vehicle's GPS would show it at a completely different location than you reported? She looked at her mom. Her mom looked at the floor. I may have been somewhere else, but that doesn't mean the accident wasn't real. Judge, no one is disputing that an accident occurred. The question before me is whether you're responsible for the damages resulting from that accident. It was an accident. Accidents happen. Judge, yes, and when accidents happen, someone is responsible for the costs. Were you the driver of the vehicle when it crashed? Yes, but, Judge, was the vehicle borrowed with permission? Yes. Judge, did you tell the insurance company that the accident occurred near an outlet mall when in fact it occurred over 150 miles from that location? I was scared. I didn't know what to say. Judge, ma'am, the result of your statement was that the insurance claim was denied for misrepresentation. The vehicle owner is now left with the repair costs because of information you provided. Do you dispute that? She started crying. Her mom stood up. Your Honor, my daughter is a good person who made a mistake. She's been devastated by this whole situation. Can't we? Judge, ma'am, please sit down. This isn't a character hearing. It's a financial dispute. Her mom sat down, looking furious. The judge reviewed the documentation I'd provided, asked me a few clarifying questions about the repair estimates and the tow fees. Then he turned back to her. Judge, do you have any documentation showing that you should not be responsible for these costs? I don't have. I can pay some of it over time, maybe. Judge, the question isn't about payment plans. It's about liability. Based on the evidence presented, do you acknowledge that you were operating the vehicle when it was damaged? Yes. Judge, and do you acknowledge that your misrepresentation to the insurance company resulted in the denial of the claim that would have otherwise covered these costs? She didn't answer for a long moment. Quietly, yes. The judge ruled in my favor. Full amount, $9,500. She has 30 days to pay. If she doesn't, I can pursue wage garnishment or other collection methods. When the judgment was announced, her mom lost it. Started going off about how this was persecution and how I was ruining a young woman's life over a car. The judge warned her once. She kept going. The bailiff escorted her out. My ex just sat there, looking stunned, like she genuinely couldn't believe there were consequences. As I was leaving, she caught up to me in the hallway. I hope you're happy. Me? I'm not happy. I'm $9,500 less unhappy than I was, potentially, if you actually pay. You know I can't afford that. Me? Then maybe you shouldn't have crashed a car you couldn't afford to replace. This is all because I went to see him, isn't it? You're punishing me because you're jealous. Me? This is because you took my property, damaged it, lied about it, and then lied to an insurance company causing my claim to be denied. The ex stuff is just the cherry on top of this garbage sundae. I never cheated on you. Nothing physical happened. Me? I genuinely don't care anymore. Pay the judgment or don't. That's between you and the court now. I walked away. She called after me something about how I'd regret this and how karma would get me. I kept walking. One more update coming when the insurance fraud investigation concludes and/or when I get paid. Update 3. Final, 16 days later. Last update. The dust has mostly settled, and I can finally see clear sky ahead. Let me wrap up the loose ends. The money. She didn't pay voluntarily. Shocker. After the 30-day window passed, I filed for wage garnishment. Her employer was served with the garnishment order last week. Starting next month, 25% of her disposable income gets redirected to me until the $9,500, plus accumulated interest and filing fees, now totaling about $9,850, is paid off. Based on what I know about her salary, this is going to take her roughly 14 to 16 months. Every 2 weeks, she'll get a paycheck that reminds her of what she did. I can't pretend that doesn't give me some satisfaction. The insurance fraud investigation. I got a letter from the insurance company's legal department 2 weeks ago. They've concluded their investigation and have referred the matter to the state insurance commissioner for potential prosecution. Whether charges actually get filed is out of my hands, but the fact that it's been referred means they found enough evidence of intentional misrepresentation to warrant further action. If she gets charged with insurance fraud, that's a Class 4 felony in my state. Penalties can include fines up to $25,000 and potential jail time. More likely for a first offense, she'd get probation and a hefty fine, but a felony on her record would follow her for life. Background checks, job applications, housing applications, all of it. I don't know if I feel good about that. Part of me thinks she deserves whatever consequences come from her own choices. Part of me thinks a felony charge is a lot for what started as lying about a car accident. But here's the thing, I didn't make her lie. I didn't make her file a false claim. I just told the truth when asked. Whatever happens from here is between her and the state. Her family's response. Her mom sent me one final message through a new number. I blocked the first one. It was a long, rambling text about how I destroyed her daughter's future and how I was no better than a criminal for entrapping her. She said the family was considering suing me for emotional distress and malicious prosecution. I forwarded the message to my lawyer friend. He laughed and said they had no case. I hadn't done anything illegal, hadn't made false statements, and hadn't engaged in any entrapment. I was the victim of property damage who told the truth when asked. If they want to waste money on a lawsuit, that's their choice. I didn't respond to her mom. There's nothing to say. Her ex. This is the weirdest part of the whole saga. About a week after the court date, I got a DM on Instagram from a guy I didn't recognize. Turned out it was her ex, the one with the lake house. He'd heard about everything through mutual friends and wanted to set the record straight. According to him, she'd been reaching out to him for months while we were dating, always with some excuse to visit or talk. He'd been trying to keep things friendly but distant because he has a new girlfriend and didn't want drama. The day of the crash, she'd shown up unannounced. He wasn't even expecting her. She'd apparently told him she was in the area and wanted to catch up. They talked for a few hours. He swears nothing physical happened. And then she left upset because he made it clear they weren't getting back together. Her ex. I feel bad that your car got wrecked, but honestly, I'm relieved this all came out. She's been texting me weird stuff for months, and I didn't know how to handle it without causing a scene. Now she's blocked on everything, and my girlfriend knows the whole story. Me, appreciate you reaching out. Wish you'd said something sooner, but I get why you didn't. Her ex, yeah, sorry about that. For what it's worth, you handled this better than I would have. I probably would have lost it when I saw that GPS data. We're not friends or anything, but it was good to get confirmation that I wasn't crazy. She really had been pursuing him while dating me. The closure story was just another lie. The car, fully repaired. Got it back from the shop last week. They did good work. You can't even tell it was in an accident. I drove it to work on Monday and honestly almost teared up a little. That car represents the first major purchase I made as an adult, the first time I felt like I had my life together financially. Getting it back felt like reclaiming something she tried to take from me. I installed a dash cam, not because I'm paranoid, but because apparently you can't trust anyone, and I'd rather have evidence than hope for the best. My life now, I'm not dating. Not ready. The trust issues from this are going to take time to work through. but I'm okay with being alone for a while. I've been focusing on work, reconnecting with friends I'd neglected during the relationship, spending time on hobbies I'd let slide. My apartment feels different now. When we were together, she was here all the time, her stuff everywhere, her schedule dictating my weekends. Now it's just mine. Quiet. Calm. I'm cooking more. Reading more. Sleeping better. A few final thoughts. 1. Document everything. The GPS tracker that I'd honestly forgotten about saved me thousands of dollars and exposed a lie I never would have discovered otherwise. If I hadn't had that data, I'd probably still be with someone who was secretly trying to reunite with her ex, and I'd be out $11,000 with nothing to show for it. 2. Trust your gut. I knew something was off when she was gone for 12 hours on errands. I knew the outlet mall story didn't add up. I ignored those feelings because I didn't want to be that guy who doesn't trust his girlfriend. Turns out I should have been exactly that guy. 3. Lying to insurance companies is monumentally stupid. I can't stress this enough. They have investigators. They ask questions. They cross-reference data. She thought she could say, "Dear near the outlet mall," and nobody would check. They checked. Now she's potentially facing felony charges. Not worth it. Ever. 4. The trash takes itself out, but sometimes you have to walk it to the curb. I didn't do anything dramatic to punish her. I didn't post about her online, didn't contact her employer, didn't try to ruin her life. I just told the truth when asked and pursued my legal right to be compensated for damage to my property. The consequences she's facing are all from her own actions. I just declined to cover for her. 5. Expensive lessons are still lessons. I'm out a few $1,000s between repair costs, legal fees, and time spent dealing with this mess. But I learned who she really was before it got worse, before we moved in together, before we combined finances, before she had access to more of my life to damage. 14 months is painful but manageable. A lifetime of that would have been devastating. My car is parked outside right now, shiny and fixed in mine. The garnishment payments will start hitting my account next month. The fraud investigation is ongoing. I ordered takeout tonight. Watching a documentary she always said was too depressing, but I've been wanting to see. The Quiet is nice. Some of you wanted a more dramatic ending. Wanted her to show up and beg. Wanted a public confrontation. Wanted catharsis. But real life rarely works that way. She made choices. I responded. The legal system did its thing. And now we're both living with the results. That's not dramatic. It's just life. Thanks for following along. It helped to write this out, to have people validate that I wasn't overreacting by pursuing this legally. Sometimes you need strangers on the internet to confirm that these things happen. Doesn't mean you have to absorb the costs when someone wrecks your car driving to their ex's house. Go finish my documentary and enjoy the quiet. Take care of yourselves. And maybe check if your car has GPS tracking. You never know when you'll need it. Peace.